Disappointed. Thought, offensively, I thought we got off to a good start in the game and, had some self-inflicted once again that kind of slowed the momentum there. It's a good offense we were playing. They got healthy and were pretty explosive against us. And we just got to find a way as a team across the board to play better. Not going to, make any kind of excuses about the short week, about penalties or anything like that. We'll get back to work. We're a 5-2 football team with a lot of football out in front of us. But if we take for granted that we need to work, we need to improve, we need to get back to doing some of the things that helped us get to this point, 5-2, before these last two games. And we will do that. I have a lot of trust and confidence in my coaching staff and a ton of confidence that we've got the right guys in that locker room, both talent and the makeup of our football team. Christian Darrisaw did sustain a left knee injury. I don't have an update for you at this time, but we'll continue that evaluation here and then on into tomorrow and try to confirm what that is, keeping our fingers crossed that we get some positive news. But other than that, that's the only injury update for you guys.
What did you think of the non-call on the parent face mask there at the end?
Yeah, it looked like he got a pretty good amount of face mask there. Not going to get into, the call or no call and all that stuff. It's just, I told our team, officiating and all that stuff, like, for us to talk about that, for us to seek comfort in that is not how we're going to respond to this. It's just not going to happen. And I'm going to do the same thing right now. I really don't have a comment on whether it looked like he got a piece of the face mask, but they didn't think so they didn't throw the flag.
Kevin, what did you think of just maybe why the defense had so much trouble tonight?
I think we were close on some plays in the passing game, but when you're playing against that quarterback and, those receivers getting healthy and getting out there and making some plays for them, I just think it comes down to, can we get enough rushing coverage working together to maybe not give a quarterback like that a couple extra clicks, and then we got to tighten up and try to get off the field. I thought some of those, third down plays where drives were extended, not necessarily by conversions, but I thought those were critical plays because we, did some good things defensively in those moments, and then off of those earned first downs, there seemed to be some drives sustained there.
Sam's had good numbers in the last two games, both losses. How do you evaluate him?
Yeah, I thought Sam played well. We're continuing to grow as an offense with Sam playing quarterback. I think he was really sharp throwing the football. There were some nice plays between him and Justin. Just didn't do enough. I thought in really a couple ways. You'd like to get 7 when you're down in the red zone. Liked our early execution just overall. I think, even midway through the third quarter or so, we really only had maybe 4 or 5 third downs, 6 third downs in the whole game because we were pretty efficient on first and second. Got some early touchdowns. The field goals aren't enough, especially in a game like that versus an offense like that. So we've got to continue to find ways to just consistently get all 11 guys on the offense doing their job. That's out of the huddle. That's how we articulate the plays. That's how we're, breaking the huddle with a total command of the system. And luckily, we'll get some extra practice work and be ready to go for the Colts game. Good team coming in. It'll be good to be back at home. But as far as Sam Darnold continues to play at a really high level, we'll keep, coaching up not only Sam but everybody around him in that huddle, and we'll get better and better.
Kevin, after the early success running the ball, what did you think happened with the rest of the
game? I felt like they started to, they really started to, give us some problems along the line of scrimmage as far as could we get a couple and maybe pop 1 or 2 longer ones that kind of resets the whole day. They were doing a lot of things coverage-wise to, try to keep a roof on the coverage to not let the big plays happen, where Sam was able to kind of check the ball down to some guys, put the ball in play. We got the screening game going a little bit in the second half, and then we just didn't sustain enough, and we weren't on the field enough. 50 plays again. When it's a game like this and their offense is making some plays and sustaining drives and kind of eating a lot of clock, it can feel like an awfully short game to you as an offense when you're either scoring or going backwards, either self-inflicted or sacks. So we've got to just try to find a way to mitigate that. run the ball a little bit more efficiently. 2.9 a carry, whatever it was, is not going to get it done for us with an intent on running the football and building our offense around that, and we got to do a better job at it.
You referenced Matthew having a few extra clicks. Like the way you've pressured quarterbacks most of the season, why do you think tonight there just wasn't?
Yeah, I don't know as of right now. Sometimes, we're, like I said, short weeks got nothing to do with it. Whatever the reasoning is, we'll take a good hard look at this tape and use this mini bye, over the weekend to make sure we're ready to allow these guys to, a refresh, recharge, and that goes for us as coaches as well as in regards to our schemes, making sure that we can get the momentum back and just dictate a little bit more. I thought, didn't see enough of it really outside of those early drives offensively when we were running the ball and kind of marrying it up pretty nicely. And then defensively, just trying to get off the field. Early in drives, it might have been those penalties, but they made some plays as well as they were able to get going. So we've got to apply pressure. We've got to marry up the rush and the coverage, working together, try to keep people in longer yardage situations and get off the field. And then offensively, we've got to sustain more, both in the run game and then being able to put the ball in the end zone when we get down there.
What self-inflicted, just how frustrating was that stretch at the end of the first half?
Yeah, I think, when we were kind of going score for score there early, the noise level did ramp up a little bit more even than maybe the start of the game. And there was some, quarterback center kind of just overall just wasn't smooth enough. Either we need to get on the silent cadence and be able to react in the moment and execute, or we need to, be able to execute the cadences that we have. Didn't like seeing that. Didn't like seeing just overall as we kind of are in a dogfight again in a game like this. Do not want to have things that we are doing to cause us to not be able to capture the momentum just with our execution. Because when the execution, whistle to whistle happens, we're a pretty darn good offense. We just have to do a little bit more, make a few more clean play calls, clean execution, get lined up, know what to do and go do it. And once again, the short week's not an excuse. Our guys were ready to go, but clearly we've got to take a look at what our preparation was like and make sure that when we do have more time next week, we're doing the things to prepare this football team to be a little bit better offensively.
It seemed like the Rams were having some success over the middle of the field, kind of like the Lions did on Sunday.
Yeah.
What did you think went into that part of it where they were able to hit some things there?
They're just, I know we were close on a few, but honestly, Ben, I'd go back and, I know Flo and his guys will take a look at it and see how we can adjust, see how we can tighten up a little bit and possibly make those plays a little bit more difficult, especially in the middle of the field. They hit some, that last, third down in the 4-minute. We're hoping to get, maybe a little bit better field position, a little bit more time left, kind of using the timeouts there. And Matthew Stafford and Cooper Kupp made a play. Looked like we might have a chance to even intercept that ball, and Coop comes down with it.
How much do you think the injury to Darius affected what you could do in the second?
Yeah, I think they've got some good young rushers, and we're trying to do the best we could to make sure we're cognizant of that with the plays we're calling, maybe limiting the menu a little bit to try to get some help over there on the left side, and made a few plays. I thought Quest came in and battled. We'll take a look at what it's going to look like with CD and ultimately put together a good plan, regardless of who's out there. I've got a lot of confidence in our guys, but you lose a guy like CD in the middle of the game plan's kind of rolling a little bit outside of the penalties at that point, and we felt it, but once again, no excuse. Next man up, and we got to roll.
What do you want the players to do with this mini bye to maximize it?
Well, I think between last Sunday and tonight, there's going to be some emotional kind of toll there. Just I know they have a ton of belief in themselves and our team and what they have built this year. So I really challenge those guys. We got to get healthy. We'll have a couple guys potentially coming back to our team that we haven't had yet. We've got some guys that have had some nicks and bruises and things that worked through it on a short week, and they battled. So now we get, the benefit of some time, but we've got to use it the right way. We've got to make sure we're doing everything we can collectively as an organization to make sure we're moving forward positive and just try to get a win next week against the Colts team at US Bank Stadium.
CD got hurt. Were you just looking to see if you could pop something before deciding whether to go into
Yeah, Sean still had the one timeout left. We ended up backed up in that situation. They had dime defense on the field, so, thought we could maybe pop a run. Don't know if we were necessarily targeted right versus that group out there, which I think if we are, maybe that ball's got a chance to, if we get off and rolling with the timeouts we had left at the time, get that first down, then, there's a chance to maybe try to dial some stuff up and not give them any chance of doubling us up there with them starting out the second half. So kind of once that play happened and we lose CD and you're thinking about, the 95-plus yards you got to go, thought it was best at that point just to take it in, regroup, and try to come out and move the ball in the second half.
If it was a couple yards more, like at the 5 or 6, would a kneel down have been possible there and just going to half that?
On 1st and 10?
With 26 seconds.
Yeah, I mean, we did have timeouts left, so it's clearly possible. And just calling a run play we called several other times in the game. You're just kind of seeing if you can get the drive. See if you pop a run there. They're in a light body grouping with 6 DBs on the field, including one of them playing linebacker. Just calling a standard run and. Just trying to see if we can pop one and then maybe take the time out, reset, try to get a couple chunks. We got a kicker that can hit it from a long way away and, not at the expense of giving momentum back in the moment to the Rams with their one timeout left. And then ultimately, we lose CD and took it on in from there.
Last one.
Coach came up from San Diego to cover your return to Southern California and kind of talk to some San Diego State coaches, former teammates of yours.
Yeah.
And their description of who you are as a person decades ago, continuing with the present, what would you give credit to for that consistency of character moving forward? And then how is that going to help you to be able to move forward through these 2 games?
Yeah, I think, first and foremost, I'm incredibly blessed to have the family that I do. My mom and dad, have always been, demanding of me being the way I am because that's who they are, and I had an incredible example of that. Here's what I would say. We've, as a football team, had a lot of success this year, and then, it's been a tough 4 days for us. That will not define us. It will not, it will not be the story of this season because we hold the pen. And what are we going to do with it? Are we going to work? Am I going to be the same consistent guy just pushing this team even more, demanding the discipline to be our difference moving forward? And I know I got the right team in there. I got the right coaches. Incredibly fortunate to have the group that I do. It did not go our way tonight, which is incredibly unfortunate, considering a tough loss on Sunday and then come right back and your season looks a little different. And fully expecting a lot of the folks that weren't really expecting us to do a whole lot this year from the time we reported to training camp till we won a few games, fully expecting, and the narratives and all those things mean absolutely nothing because they never did. It's about work. It's about this team coming together and this coaching staff and players, tightest group I've ever been around, most tight-knit group I've ever been around. I love our team. I love everything about getting to be the head coach of this team every day. And I've got to make sure I'm pushing us to reach our truest potential as a team this year because I believe that is a special thing, and I believe that now more than ever.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.